everybody. I'm Ashley Keats.
Hi. I'm Gabriel Walewski. Hi.
We're the drama teachers here at Marist. We'd just like to say thank you very much for coming tonight.
The boys have been working hard for the last term or so with us after school. They gave up a Saturday, as you probably know, and it's great for you to come along and support. The purpose of Mtheatrix is just to give students the opportunity to create or to be theatrical in a context where they might not otherwise be able to, because some of them don't do drama for year 9 or 10, and we have students from year 7 through 11 who are actually performing tonight. They're very excited, we're very excited. This is their second performance, so thank you for coming along and supporting, because that's really important that they have you, their friends and their family coming here. Anything you want to say, Miss?
No, just again, thank you for coming. And we did record it last night. I'm not sure it's getting recorded today, so if you'd like a copy, just let us know.
And if you just turn off your mobile phones, that'd be perfect. And then we'll dim the lights and the boys will come on down and they will
enjoy.
Thank you.
Mrs. Queen,
Yes, Mr. King.
do you ever worry about our son?
Dearest, I worry about both our sons. What exactly is worrying you about Rufus?
He seemed so self-absorbed recently. Beginning to wonder what they do with him at that school of his.
They teach him the drums, don't they? You agreed.
Yes, but he's bashing away at them at all hours. 'Tis all part of the problem. Thank goodness we live in a 63-bedroom palace.
The drums seem so destructive somehow. I hope it doesn't reflect on any worrying personality traits in him. And the school holidays is next week. We can't have him mooching around all day.
Ah, why don't we send him on one of the adventure camps that I organise? Wouldn't he be interested?
All those outdoor camps and treks in the wilderness?
Precisely.
Those have always struck me as a little bit chilly, dear. Anyway, it'd mess with his hair. He'd hate it.
Why doesn't he join a band then? Playing the drums. He could play in a few gigs.
Gigs, you probably mean, dear.
Yes, quite so.
Well, gigs I don't think are terribly suitable, but we definitely can't have him around the house. I've got my knitting convention next week.
Hello, my dearest Mama and Papa. You'll be pleased to know that I'm back from school after sitting behind for Junior Trigonometry Club. Today we looked at why, when you add all the sides of an equilateral triangle, square the result, cube it, square it again, the answer is always 9 less than the cube root of the smallest angle. I think my proof was actually better than Pythagoras's. After that, I tuned the strings on my harp and composed the third movement of my cello concerto. Ah, there's my older brother, doing his multiplication homework. I expect he got home from school hours ago. Rufus never stays behind for any after-school activities, apart from detention, of course, on a Friday afternoon. He's so dull. Don't you find, dearest Mom and Papa?
Did I hear my name being called? Oh, you're here.
Yes, I am, the one and only.
You needn't bow.
I wasn't intending to. Could I help you with your maths homework? It does look jolly interesting.
No, you couldn't. And this is just basic algebra. And in my opinion, all algebra is the same. X is nearly always 13, and Y is almost always 9. If you stick to those, you can't go wrong.
That's not my experience. Why, only the other day I encountered an equation where X was the cube root of -4 and Y turned out to be Morgan Freeman. That man is in everything.
Rufus, your mother and I were discussing that you needed to do something constructive with these holidays. Get outside. We concurred that you should go on one of the adventure camps that he organised. You know, Nights under the starry skies, stories around the campfire, pushing yourself to the limit, getting to know yourself better. Camping wild where there's threat of animals, frostbite, and running out of lavatory paper. You'll come back a changed person. What do you say?
I say it'll be cold and wet.
That's just the point. The colder and wetter, the better.
Why should I go?
This sort of thing is an experience.
So is sitting on a spike. Can't you stay here and do drum practice?
You can't sit around and do drum practice all day, dear.
I'm prepared to give it a go. Who knows? Maybe if I do, I'll become a changed person and get to know myself a whole lot better. What do you say?
I say it would do you good to get out a bit in the open air.
Why doesn't Frederick go? Get him away from his calculators.
Genius! The two of you can go. You can be together, camping, as brothers, battling against the elements. What do you say?
This backfired.
Ah, the gong! Time for dinner! This argument can wait until later.
Oh, and we've got that theatre group coming in after dinner.
Who are they?
Oh, they're one of those experimental types. Anyway, let us head to dinner.
Yes.
Humbled by your presence. You make me sick, you know that.
What are they doing? Shh. Is it modern?
I think so.
No, this is ridiculous. Courtier, tell me what's going on.
Yes, sir, it is a neo-realistic existentialist piece which points out the fundamental contradictions between reality and deconstructive ideology, emphasizing at its heart the didactic nature of human experience.
That's very good.
Do the people who read the Sydney Morning Herald go and see it?
I believe they do.
I think it's nonsense. In my day when we went to a play... Shh! Oh, they're finished. Great.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you would please put your hands together for the Mtheatrix Theatre Company and their principal artiste, Mr. Articulated Vehicle!
Stop.
Your Majesty, did you enjoy our play?
Mr. Vehicle.
Artie.
Artie, I've always been an honest man.
That's code word for you didn't.
'Tis not that I didn't enjoy it, it's just...
Yes?
There wasn't a story.
Or any action. I prefer a story with action. Biff, baff, you're dead. And loads of explosions all over the place.
I don't agree. You don't need action to emphasize the didactic nature of human experience, do you? You can't boil human experience down to a couple of violent scenes of fisticuffs and a load of bodies all over the place.
Can't you?
Please, stop this argument at once. My son Rufus over here loved it. He's just too shy to say so.
Thank you, Ben.
Mr. Vehicle, how is it that you yourself are not performing? Your manager here says you are the principal artiste in this troupe.
Well, there's a reason for this. An animal state of affairs.
Which is?
Sir, I regret to inform you that I have been without my dramatic license for a couple of weeks now. It has made I have not been able to be in any acting activities.
Dramatic license? What is that?
Well, you see, sir.
A dramatic license is a driver's license for actors. You have 11 points, and once you lose them, you're gone.
What did you do to get 11 points on your dramatic license?
Well, it's a long story. First, I was caught performing a play without actually knowing my lines. I kind of improvised for about 3 or 2 hours. Then I was caught performing comedy under the influence of melancholy, and drama under the influence of subtlety.
As you can see, Your Majesty, it has made acting very hard. The Two Musketeers didn't go down to war, nor did 100 Dalmatians, and the normally splendid musical comedy, Six Brides for Six Brothers.
Ordered one with Gentlemen of Verona, or Snow White.
But who do you cut? Then there was 11 Angry Men, and not to mention that our stage production of the epic film 300 was completely incomprehensible.
299 just doesn't sound the same.
I heard the word dope in there.
Oh, the Department of Performance and Entertainment. They've made it working with the group very hard with me in these circumstances.
Well, this is indeed terrible.
Sir, D-Dog, Master P, my brother from another mother, hopefully. If you could use your influence.
I don't know. It has appeared you've committed some fairly awful acts.
That was horrible.
What was horrible?
The pun.
Pun? Pun? I don't understand.
I think I have an idea. How about I travel with Artie here to the offices of Dope, was it? And see if I can persuade them to get their creative licenses back.
When have you ever had any interest in drama?
Dad, me and Artie here are kindred spirits. Artists. We understand the cruelty and the philistinism of the modern world, and we respond to it by letting our creative impulses run wild.
Honestly, when have you ever shown any experience of the cruelty and philistinism of the modern world?
Shut up. Artie here expresses himself through acting, and I express myself through drumming.
Honestly, this is some of the most awful tosh I have ever heard. Your only experience of art is that dreadful music you listen to all the time.
Oh yes, what is that music called? Patio and loft conversion?
Garage and house, I think you mean.
I knew it was something domestic.
Hey, Frederick listens to his music all the time. I know you do. The whole house shakes every time you turn your stereo up.
Frederick listens to Mozart, dear. It's not quite the same thing.
Wait a minute. You're just saying this so you can get into the adventure camp that I run.
No, he's not. Your son Artie is a dedicated Your son Rufus is a dedicated artiste. I am sure he would be able to persuade the officials at Dope that their treatment has been unfair. It would be an adventure in itself. It would rival anything that your awards scheme would handle.
I must ask Mrs. Queen.
Rufus has school tomorrow.
Yes. We can write in a note in the morning, send it in with Frederick, and say, Rufus started holidays a week early. The teachers can't complain, I'm the king. If they complain, I'll have them burnt at the stake for being filthy peasants.
Well, we do need gravy browning. Could you pop into the shop on the way back and grab some?
Oh boy, shopping. Alright then.
I believe it is time for a feast to celebrate the embarkment of this wonderful, epic quest.
Oh, yes, we can perform again if you'd like us to.
I've had
299?
I've had enough drum for this evening.
Snow White.
Time for a
11
feast.
11
Courtier,
horse.
organizer.
Six Brides.
It's pretty good.
No,
It's really good.
I want to
It's
eat.
actually quite good.
It could win an Oscar. Fine.
Well, have fun at home while I'll be off on a grand adventure and you'll be staying here doing equations.
They're not equations. This is calculus. Proper maths. And don't forget to pack your drum kit. You don't know what you're letting yourself in for, little drumming boy. Not yet you don't, at any rate.
So which way is it?
Which way is where?
To the offices of Dope, of course!
I don't know. I'm an artiste. I don't read the maps. My manager does that for me.
Alright, don't get shirty.
Listen here. You're dealing with a man of talent, not practicality, and make no mistake. So where is it, Prince Rufus? Don't you do geography at school?
Yeah, but we never seem to look at any maps, it's just calculation grids and population graphs and all this stuff.
I have no idea what those are.
Neither do I, that's the problem.
Yeah.
Look, it's probably that way. Or is it, that way? Listen, let's just go that way until you can find someone to ask.
I'm with you there.
Or a map.
Well, that's a good idea. Anyway, I can tell you about the new play I'm in.
What are you playing?
I'm playing a dead body.
It's awful.
Indescribable.
Terrible, just like most televisions these days. Viewers, I have with me here Mr. Dwayne Marlowe, former beatport of the urban generation, who sadly, as you know, is unable to practice his craft. Mr. Marlowe, can you explain to the audience here how it feels to have your license revoked?
Dreadful. I feel as if a limb has been severed from me. It's like...
No!
Sorry. I was forgetting. It's, well, just awful.
And would you mind explaining to the viewers why you lost your poetic license?
A myriad of offences. All of them. Made up. Going through a full stop without looking. Not pausing at a comma. Overuse of an onomatopoeia.
And a final straw?
They said I made Miley Cyrus look like a genius by having the phrase wrecking ball in one of my poems.
Shame. And they also banned you from using similes ever again.
Yes. A total ban. Thank you for warning me just then.
It's okay, friend.
Of course, you're feeling bitter yourself, Mr. Rodriguez.
Yes, very bitter.
You're an artist.
Well, a former artist, in fact.
Would you mind explaining to the viewers how you lost your license?
I painted a picture
Is that all?
of a dog with a bowl of fruit that had a ribbon in its hair.
And they took away your artistic license.
Yeah, they just said, you know what, nobody wants paintings anymore, not a real things anyway, they just want swirling patterns and barn animals and unmade beds and strewn underwear.
Come on. There's more to it than that.
Okay, I admit, I was caught overusing magenta.
Overusing magenta?
Yes, on a lime green background.
Ladies and gentlemen, you along with me have witnessed these two sad, disenfranchised people denied their creative fulfillment, all because they...
What about you? You've been denied your television license. You've been relegated to early morning cookery programs and live interstate arm wrestling on the Wisconsin Fox Sport 14. You're that kind of person they switch over to and they're just like, is that what he does now? He used to be so good at whatever it was. And then they switch you over for someone better. You can hardly talk.
Yes, well, old habits die hard.
Let's admit, we're all done for. What can we do to get those officials back up at dope to give us back our licenses?
Don't be silly. We all know it's not really the dope officials who's really the problem.
If it wasn't for the oxymoron, none of this would have happened. Tonight, ladies and gentlemen, you can see a special documentary about...
Shut up!
Sorry.
Like, come on, playing a dead body is harder than it looks. You just gotta stand there, have the blank face, be like,
Yeah, sure.
"Meh."
Oh, hello.
Bonjour.
Oh, hi.
Hey, the most beautiful, mellifluous greetings to a two.
Thanks.
Hi. Now, wait a minute. Is it? It is. I know you on the television. Somewhat, don't I?
Oh, yes.
Well,
Slug, I do.
well, I've been in a few things.
Don't tell me. You were in the popular soap People That Lived Next to Each Other Neighbours, weren't you?
Yes, I was on a couple episodes of that.
Right, you were Jack Pembridge, the rich, handsome hero who sold his farm in the end and married the wonderful Gertrude McSweeney.
No, I wasn't him.
You were the... Oh, that's right. You're the suave Italian fellow that everybody loved to hate.
No,
Dr. Tony?
definitely not.
Daryl?
I was one of the sheep. It was in the early stages of my career. They had a sheep originally, but it dropped out to be in Bondi Vet.
Bondi Vet, that's too bad.
It's harder there, you know. The sheep would have been too expensive anyway. They have all the Mother's Day lamb commercials. It's just not fair.
You're telling us it's not fair. We've all had our licenses revoked.
Your license is revoked?
Yes, it's a sorry business.
What a coincidence. I've had my licenses revoked. How could this be?
You mean you haven't heard of the oxymoron?
The oxymoron?
The oxymoron.
Do you need your asthma medication?
What is the oxymoron?
It's the most awful story. Terrible.
He lived on the other side of French's Forest for several years, decades even. Some say he's been trying to make Meringue.
Meringue.
You got it.
Isn't it just beaten egg white and sugar?
Well, it should be, but every time he goes to make it, it goes all like runny and stuff. I don't think he's got the recipe just right yet.
Hang on a second. How does this link to me, and all three of you, losing our licenses?
Some time ago, he captured the official adult in charge of creative licenses. He figured that because he was so creatively impotent, not able to make meringue and all, he would deny other people their right to practice their talent too.
So it's a form of artistic jealousy then?
You could say that. I did a 4 corner special on it, you should watch it. And after that, it became random. I had my license revoked. No one was spared. Poets, artists, actors, TV presenters like myself, and even cooks.
Maybe we should...
Alright then. Well, I guess our next stop is the Oxymorons Fearsome Cave. Let's go. Hang on. We're gonna need cannon fodder. Would you 3 like to come with us?
Us? We're members of the creative community, not warriors.
That's right, you sit there and read the big issue, while others get the work done. I'm sick of wimps like you. Spider, kill it! Kill the spider! Oh, spider.
That's the last we'll see of them.
Now where were we? Weren't we having an animated discussion about the creative bankruptcy of the modern age and how the government cutbacks have affected the creative community?
Yes.
I think so.
Well, yeah, I think.
Oh yes, what do you think?
Hi.
Lost for words there, Mr. Poet.
Oh, must be. I think it might be spot of bother.
Nobody move and there'll be no trouble.
What?
Huh?
Where are you taking us? Where are you taking us?
So the Oxymoron's there, now be quiet.
What? But I'm pressed! You can't do this to me! Whatever happened to the journalistic freedom to report? The three were bunted away by soldiers of the Oxymoron Fearsome militia. Reporting for all the region is like, hey, stop touching me with that! That's my no-no square!
Come on, you miserable fool! I'll discover the recipe of meringue if it takes me my whole life. 20 years! 20 years already I've been doing this, and still no luck. But this time, I think I may have discovered a way to do it. You miserable clerk! Doing something useful for a change, hey? Instead of filling in forms for the Department of Performance and Education. Doing something useful for a change, hey? Come on! Admit that you are, you pompous, jumped up little civil servant!
If you manage to discover the recipe, sir, will you be able to set me free so I can go back to my old job at Dope?
I might do. Though why you want to go back to that old, miserable job of yours, I've no idea. But to be honest, I'm not sure yet. Once I found the perfect recipe for meringue, I want to eat lots of it. I'll keep you here as my own personal meringue maker. I'll open my own meringue manufacturing plant. We'll start making it on an industrial scale. We'll flood the world in meringue. Roar! Roar! Dennis! Yes, Mrs. Ballax? What is it? And how many times have I asked you not to bother me while I'm in the kitchen? There are some people here to see you. People? What people? Visitors! A man and a boy, and they're here to see you, of all people! Visitors? But I never have visitors. What are you doing now?
Sir, something's happening! Come and look!
Mrs. Ballax, if you could be so kind and let them in, and I'll attend to them later. These miserable wretches seem to think they could do something. Well, is it meringue? Have we done it? Have I done it?
I don't think so.
Yeah! Give me a piece.
Well,
Texture, medium to crumbly. No! Crumbly. 4 out of 10. Colour, off-white, tending towards dark grey brown.
Must be the gravy powder.
Shut up! Don't interrupt!
I'd say 6.
Well, taste?
Tastes of egg whites, sugar, bananas, and gravy.
Exactly what we put in the pot.
Just come here for a second. I'll tell you a story about a man who never talks to his boss. I tell you what happened. He doesn't talk to his boss anymore because he kept on talking to him. And I tell you what he did to his student to make him do that. Bend down. He did this. Carry on. Sweetness.
9 out of 10. Very good. Brilliant. Your best work so far.
9 out of 10 for sweetness. 22 out of 40! Failed again! When will I ever?
There he is! The mad one who never watches behind the ears!
Mrs. Battleaxe! Sorry, she's my landlady. I'm a bit behind her for rent. She's... Never mind.
Are you the oxymoron?
I am!
And is this the dope official?
What?
Because if he is, he's taken my creative license. And if I understand things correctly, it's because you have forced him to. Boom! I am amazing! High five. High five.
Are these people causing a nuisance?
Who are you?
I am the assistant to the great oxymoron!
Have I seen you somewhere before?
No, I don't think you have. Now, if you'll excuse us, we have some very important work to do.
What kind of work are you engaged in?
After that. After that!
Yes.
For 20 years, I have been engaged in request to find the perfect recipe for meringue. Not too sweet, not too crumbly, not too dry. It is a quest that has filled the every wrecking moment of my adult life to complete.
But it's just beaten egg white and sugar.
No, it isn't! We've tried that!
Well, you're not going to go very far by adding this to the mixture.
How do you know? How do you know that? Up until now, no one in the entire world has tried making meringue with all bran. Just consider it. It could be the vital ingredient lacking up to now. You never know something until you've tried it. Dennis! Dennis! Just look! I want this stuff lining up this time!
My nose, sir.
All over the carpets! Goodness knows who these are! I hope they weren't the place being covered in mud! Honestly!
The 3 creative artists were brought to a huge dark cabin, of which in the center a huge cauldron burned on a fire. The air was sticky with the smell of, the smell of burnt sugar and gravy. As to what happens to the next, more details in the next bulletin. Until then, this is sort of speak outline. Reporter for all the major news network live from the Oxymoron's lab. And now the weather.
Who are these people exactly?
Sir, these are 3 imposters that I caught beyond the Blue Mountains. They're speaking animatedly in a way which suggested they were creative artists in some way. I thought you'd want to see them. And this one won't stop talking.
Dennis! This mud is your responsibility! They're all your guests! And it's messing up my house! Get someone to clean it up here immediately! Right! You heard her! Go back there and clean it up! And you!
But master...
You heard! You've always been good with a vacuum! And you too, Dennis! It's no good making other people do the work for you! You're not making it right now! There's work to be done! Rent to be paid! Right! I gotta go!
giving me a new idea for a play.
Yeah, I mean, this would be a great play. I mean, kidnapped people, dead bodies.
Okay. Oh!
Rise, my zombie slave.
Alright.
Oh, damn it.
Hey, zombie, hey. So, why did he capture you?
Basically, he grew more and more frustrated when he realised the quest for making a meringue was more and more elusive. He became so frustrated that he considered himself creatively impotent, and so he became jealous.
Jealous?
Jealous of those who were able to realise their creative dreams, unlike him.
You mean people like artists and actors
And poets.
and television presenters like myself?
And drums.
So, in a fit of jealousy, he captured the only dope official able to give out the creative licenses. Me!
What a sad tale.
But there's more to it than that.
Ladies and gentlemen, you join us for some breaking news.
He fell in love.
With a girl, right?
Yes, with a girl.
Oh! Thank goodness it was a girl he fell in love with. Thankfully, ladies and gentlemen, this program is suitable for a family audience like yourselves. I thought we were going to have to go post-water on this one.
What was her name?
What? So, anything else? Like, anything
She was very pretty.
Who was very pretty?
The daughter of the yogurt farmer.
What is this? Ow.
Well, they were.
Oh, he's in love with her, right?
Yes, of
What
course.
did you think she was in love with? The ceiling? The ceiling, not the floor.
Well, they did good peach Melbourne in that yogurt farm. But the tragic thing was that the oxymoron's love wasn't returned.
Oh.
It was loved from afar. Like that became an obsession, even more than making meringue was. So, he spent so much of the past few years trying to make meringue that he's forgotten how to woo girls.
This is appalling. What was her name, by the way? The object of his devotion.
Julia Gillard. Unfortunate choice of first name. If your second name is, it doesn't matter. But she was a daughter of a yogurt farmer, so that might explain it.
Oh. Is there any way we can make her fall in love with the oxymoron?
Hang on.
Well, of course, if he woos this glamorous girl, the yogurt farmer, then I would be free, and I would give back all your creative licenses.
Now, hang on. How would you make a girl fall in love with you?
I haven't tried.
Other than money. Okay. Why, you might, I don't know, paint her a picture or write her a poem. And while you're at it, you might have a famous actor say the lines and have a television presenter perform it all over the news. So, we've got an artist to paint a picture, a poet to write a poem, an actor to perform the lines, and a television presenter who can perform it all over the television. What are we waiting for?
Wow. What an imagination you have.
Yeah, and I just wish I could have included drums and zombies in it as well.
Zombies? Really?
Yeah.
Well, it doesn't matter. All we have to do is wait for the oxymoron to return and we can pitch the idea to him.
Right.
And so, when the oxymoron returned from his hoovering, the plan dreamed up by Rufus was presented to him. And luckily, was looked upon by him favourably. Soon afterwards, the artist was hard at work creating a fine portrait of the oxymoron, capturing his best features with the painting a proposed gift for his beloved. I started making a documentary film about these extraordinary events. The poet here began creating some of the greatest love sonnets ever written. And the actor began rehearsing his most important one-man show ever, the occasion when he would deliver the poet's lines to the enigmatic Julia Gillard.
Oh, Julia.
No!
I didn't even say 2 words, but alright. Men.
No! 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 No!
Men. Julia, Julia. Where art thou, Julia?
Hang on. I know that from somewhere.
I have lost my poetic lessons, haven't I? Plagiarism is their only option.
So, painting is finished.
Oh, looks just like him!
So
Striking resemblance. The resemblance is uncanny.
The nose is wrong.
This picture will surely mean Junior thinks the same of me as I do of her. Artie, come along. We have to deliver these beautiful lines written down by the poet to Junior. Taking your time, hey? So long!
Well, let's hope that's the last we see of him.
Several long tense days passed by in the oxymoron's lair. The dope official continued his meringue work, watched over by the sinister figure of the oxymoron's assistant.
Come on, you slackers! Work! Work! Work!
The hunt for ingredients continued apace.
Right. What haven't we tried yet? Custard powder?
Tried that.
Tomato puree?
Yep.
Mashed up broccoli with chopped parsley on the side, left to cook for 40 minutes at gas mark 5, before being left to chill for 5, before being served with, say, Lipton iced tea.
Yep, that too. Don't you remember? It made it go green.
Ooh. How about egg whites and sugar? Right! Give me a dozen eggs. Get rid of the yellow bits inside of them, then beat together the white bits that no one can ever remember the name of.
Album.
Exactly! Pour in some sugar and bake! Go! Whew. Finally! Looks like we're getting somewhere.
Oh, hey, you're back. How'd it go?
We did actually, alright actually. We gave the painting to the love of his life. I pronounced my lines. We lied and said it was written by him, and she agreed to marry him right there and then.
Oh, that's fantastic. But wait, doesn't that mean he wouldn't want to come back here? Surely.
Definitely not.
But that means that, surely that you can go free and give all these people their licenses back.
Of course.
Yes!
Yes!
Oh my goodness.
Freedom.
Now that I have my artistic license back, I can make a new sculpture, more like a heap of underwear. I'll exhibit it in all new galleries. I'll call it Complete Hands and
Shut up, you! Shut up! I hate people talking about arty things, right?
Right here. I don't want that.
You will be the one to taste this new product. Tell me, what's it like? Taste first.
I'd say 10.
10. Sweetness.
10. 10.
Color.
Pure white. 10 again.
And lastly, texture.
10!
Oh my goodness!
Yes! We've actually done it. We've actually made meringue.
Oh my goodness! Full marks!
Of course it would make meringue, you stupid deprived oafs. I just wanted to give you some sense of worth in your own life. Now that the oxymoron's gone, you will all be set to a far greater task than the search for meringue. My own task. My own personal endeavour.
A task? What sort of task?
A mathematical task.
Oh!
Involving algebra.
Oh!
And calculus.
Oh!
And formulae.
Oh!
And simultaneous equations.
Oh!
And yes, even a bit of long division.
Oh!
Of times in pi to 18,000 decimal places.
18,000 decimal places?
And you, Mr.
That's over
Oh
9,000.
And you, Mr. Oh so clever artist, will have to start by drawing a circle.
Hang on. Calculus, algebra, the calculation of pi to 18,000 decimal places?
Yes.
I know exactly who you are. You're my...
And now time for a convenient blackout.
Convenient blackout? What?
You're my brother Frederick!
And you're my good-for-nothing older brother Rufus.
What the hell are you... Listen, Frederick, I have no idea what the hell you're doing here, but I am not sticking around in this cave just to take part in than some stupid mathematical thing. Come on, guys. My younger brother Freshy doesn't scare anyone.
Right.
It's not a spider.
Right. I have to get a new microphone out because of you. Bye, little Rufus. Bye.
Oh, my head. What's wrong with them all? All I wanted to do was enslave them into doing maths problems forevermore. What's wrong with that?
So he's gone, is he?
He's fallen in love.
I hope she's from a suitable background.
Her father's a yogurt farmer.
Are you going to be the wine bear? Because
Because
there's everything to be done. I got a new tenant looking up after lunch. The place needs sorting. Honestly, I don't know what the world's coming to. I really don't.
Hey, you lot, wait for me!
What time is it?
5 minutes past the last time you asked, dear.
What time was it then?
10 past 3.
3:15 on a Sunday afternoon. 'Tis so dull without the boys around. They could be annoying and moody and silly and annoying, but at least there was something to do. I mean, you've got your knitting and I have a scepter. 'Tis so dull.
Any news on Frederick?
I have not received whereabouts of your son at all. I'm sorry.
No news of Frederick either. Goodness knows where he's gotten to.
I just wish something would happen.
No, stop!
Father, we've returned. And guess what? We were successful in our quest.
Rufus? What happened to you? You seem so happy and energetic. This is not the son that left our house a week ago.
Oh, yeah. It was cool. Yes.
That's more like it.
Your Majesty, I'd like to say that I have gotten my dramatic license back, so now I can perform it with you again and again.
Wonderful news.
I shall start. While I sit back and relax and look all cool while shooting people outside of school.
Okay, you can shut up now. So. Oh, and you'll never guess who we've brought back.
Nearly killed him.
Frederick!
Rufus! You shouldn't tease your brother by putting bags over his head.
Or killing him.
Father, you don't understand. I'll have you know that Frederick was at the heart of a plot to steal your civilians and have them do math problems.
Vision. The worst part is when he tried to make me do them.
Frederick, is this true?
Yes, Father. You see, I was always good at maths. Brilliant. But the worst thing was, I hated being good at something as futile and abstract as calculus and trigonometry. I wanted to create, to be an artist, but yet I could never be.
Hang on. I thought you were writing some cello concerto.
That was a lie. I tried to con people into thinking I had a creative side, but in reality, I don't. So when I heard of this character, the oxymoron, who had denied the creative people their licenses at dope, well, I confess, I joined him.
Ah, right. Sir, Your Majesty. Just one or two words to the viewers at home about your reaction to your son returning home. Sorry, so let's wake up. Reporter for all the major news network will broadcast this over the whole nation. We'll go coast to coast on this one. No sweat.
Coast to coast? What does that mean? Who are these people?
How rude of me. I have to introduce you to the three most creative people you ever see. The artist, Carlos Rodriguez. The beats poet, Dwayne Marlowe with his obsession of men.
Don't judge me.
And Mr. McAlpine has already introduced himself.
Just one or two words, sir. I'm sure the viewers at home will want to hear from you.
Listen, how are you going to punish Frederick?
I'm afraid even the island of Tasmania is too good for him.
Please.
Here, take him away.
No,
please!
Father! Father, no! Mother, please stop it! Father,
Good luck in Tasmania.
The completion of an epic quest. I believe this calls for a feast.
Another feast?
My lady?
Oh, and afterwards, would you consider collaborating in a documentary film about the whole event?
Oh, we could present it in a series of paintings.
Or an epic poem!
Or as a play.
Excuse me, how tiny is Tasmania? How far away is it, please? One word or two, sir?
So, all's well that ends well?
Well, that plan worked perfectly. And now I'm one less brother away from the throne. You didn't hear anything. Soon I'll be king.
Alright, thank you ladies and gentlemen. We now have a 20-minute intermission and then we'll start the second performance.